If the thought of cold calling makes you want to vomit and quit real estate, you're not the only one. I was not a big fan of cold calling. I tried it for a little while and it makes me sick to my stomach. The good news is today, in today's age, you don't have to. You do have to engage and connect, but you don't necessarily have to use the old school technique of cold call. I'm Alicia Savikawa and I am the Empowered Agent. I've been in real estate for over a decade and I am a real estate coach, and I personally sell by referral, and I've also grown my business to become a top producer in the local Virginia area, and I am so privileged to coach agents across the country. I also have a great channel called The Empowered Woman, but I made The Empowered Agent to help agents grow and understand how to attract, not repel people, and how to grow a business that you love and that loves you back. So here's some lead gen strategies I wanted to share with you today that actually may work in the coming years. And there's no scripts, no spamming, no chasing. It's about showing up as yourself and attracting the clients that want you. So I want to work with people that want to work with me, just like I'm sure you want to work with people that want to work with you, and not to get the commission breath and that desperation where people are just repulsed by, right? This is really important to understand. Like, why do I believe that cold calling is dead? We're seeing a lot of people on the no call list. Who wants that? I mean, I get calls all the time. It's really annoying. And there is a consumer behavior shift. We have such a more knowledgeable consumer out there. You can look things up yourself, with ChatGPT and AI and all the things that we have at our fingertips. You can get as much information as you want now. It's not the day and age where people get kept information. We're almost in an information overload society now. So we have to decipher what's good, what's bad, what do I need, what do I not need? Because it's almost just coming at us like as a fire hose. It's about understanding that behavior stuff that nobody really wants an unsolicited call anyway. So it's how do you offer that value up front, and how do you lure someone to want to work with you when they're ready and raise their hand? So we are in a new era of attraction versus interruption, or just shaking people out of things. And people want to work with people that they know, they like, and they trust. It has to check all three boxes. If you're obscure and you're not out there, you're not putting yourself out there, they'll never know you really, unless someone says, hey, work with my friend, and they have to know you, and they may go look you up and realize that you don't exist online anywhere. So that's really, really, really important. Keep that in the back of your mind. And liking is something that happens over time. There's definitely people that are like, they get me, I'm like them. And you have that camaraderie with someone instantly. We all know that connection that sparks like in a romantic relationship maybe, or in friendship, and like when you just hit it off with someone, that they say. And it's such a great feeling when you get to work with someone that understands you and communicates the way you do. Or can you shift yourself as an agent to help others and show up how they need you to show up is the key, right? We have to be the one that has to be flexible around the personalities that our clients are like. And so it's so important to be that, and not an agent that's catching someone off guard where they're just defensive and immediately like, I don't want anything, leave me alone. And that's what we're seeing a lot, I think, in a lot of agents that are, trying to force themselves. I've inherited, meaning things have expired or things that didn't go well, clients that were not served correctly by someone that kind of went after them. And no shade on those agents that work really hard. That's what sales is. It's what we do. They made the deal happen. They converted. They closed the deal. And sometimes that's the person that wins. Yes. But if you don't want to do your business that way, I don't think that's bad. You get to decide how you want to do it. That's what's so great about real estate, is there are hundreds of ways to do the business. I honestly don't think anyone is right or wrong. You have to decide for yourself what works for you and how you want to serve your clientele. So one of the things I want to talk with you about is the lead gen pillar. That's like direct messaging conversations that actually will convert and work. Meaning like when you text them, direct message on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on any of these channels that you can direct message. So one great way to do it is there's a lot of different people that advertise online, and you'll see it. There's IG story polls. There's things that you can do that provoke engagement. You can create inbound conversations that way. How to DM without sounding salesy, like, just making sure, asking questions like, tell me more questions, or I'm curious, what would it take? And the value for curiosity, generally going in there curious to serve, not like I want to close a deal, but how can I serve my clients and make their lives better? So it would be like, hey, if you want the checklist, DM me today. Or if you want to know what are the best neighborhoods right now, in my opinion, you can post like at what rate make a move if you had to sell, things like that. You're not really pitching. The concept is you need to be a resource. How can you be of service to your people? And the second lead pillar that's not cold calling per se is looking at community and local content. We're seeing agents more and more and more create these awesome local content pages, neighborhood spotlights, like what's my favorite playground, what's my coffee shop, my favorite restaurant. Take that opportunity to be the shower or the broadcaster for your community where you live, your sweet neighborhood. Everybody has their favorites. Share them, just like word of mouth, right? That's how a lot of businesses grow, is through word of mouth. Can you be the word of mouth for your population? And and they look to you then as the person that knows all the things happening, and then dabble on, and it's by your local realtor kind of situation. The best parks in Glen Allen, or that's where I live. Moving to Richmond, watch this. Why this positions you to go out. It's like, it makes you the go-to local guide. So of course you're going to know about houses, and you can always put in there, like, if you want to know about the newest home that's coming on the market, the new construction, the custom builders, the lots of lands, like, it can grow from this little neighborhood spotlight that you're doing. And you can also ask people to put their emails in if you want to start creating a newsletter to send out based on what's going on. So there is a lot of effort, but it's like, it's something that you're getting back, and it's more organic and homegrown and actually giving value versus you going, hey, you want to buy a house? Hey, you want to buy a house? You want to sell a house? And if that makes you feel cringy, this is a great way to grow your business, but it takes time. All of these things are going to take time, but honestly, cold calling takes time. Anybody that you call online, or these numbers that you get, or these online leads that you pay for, they're funnels. I mean, if you look at a sales funnel, they're top of the funnel. They're just working their way down, and it takes time to close an online deal. Once in a while, you'll have a hand raiser, meaning someone will be like, yes, I'm ready to go right now, but it is not the plentiful that you're going to see, especially when we're in the market that we're in right now, where it's nobody's market at the end of 2025. It's neutral. It really is. There's some areas that are popping, and there's some areas that are stale. I have listings that are sitting that usually would have sold. And a lot of it is just the buyer pool is smaller. And so they get to be pickier when there's more listings, right? It's supply and demand. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as you are listening to some of these lead pillars and thinking of ideas. Where can you do that in your community is the question. Okay. Third one is going to be open houses. My favorite. I just did one yesterday, and there were all these people that came in, even though I've had a listing on for a few months now. And I had a couple of people that were not working with agents and had some great conversations, and they are in the beginning stages. So it's a great opportunity to meet people that are not in your sphere of influence. You know, you can use QR codes, which I like to do. So then you can capture their information. You can get more data that way. You can ask them about putting them on a search for homes that are similar to that. You can get to know people. Then they know you, you've met them, you've had personal conversation, interaction with them. You can also decide, I like to work with them. Like, these people are weird, or I don't want to work with them. So they're not dead. It's really about that follow-up over time that's going to get you more traction with those people. Okay. The next thing is going to be YouTube, which is what we're on right now. It's something I've been working on, and you can do, it's a long-term machine and game because it's there forever. I mean, there are people that have had YouTube videos since it first started, and it will continue to collect views. You can always find it searchable. It doesn't go away like some of the other social media. So that is awesome. So any effort you put out here on YouTube and you post it, it's just going to be there. So 10 years from now, someone's searching about something you know, posted about the Richmond area, if you're from here or outside, let's say you live in Texas and you posted in Texas, they'll come up and they'll find it. And there you are, 10 years younger. And it's something thinking about, and buyers do search YouTube daily. So if you're moving to a different area, especially out of the area, you're probably going to be doing some searching to find information out. And now we're finding that people are using AI. So you want to make sure that it's getting content pooled to your sources like Grok, ChatGPT, Perplexity, all the ones that people are using. And your videos sell you because they can see your face, they can see your tonality, they can see your rate of speech, they can see if you're making a joke or your style, the feeling of it's really funny because when you meet people that have seen you on video, I've been doing video for years now, they'll meet me and they'll say, wow, you're exactly like you were on video. That's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how else to be but then to be myself. So I don't have a newscaster voice. I don't put on this whole thing that this is my, home office. I'm here. Like, I'm not in a studio anywhere. These are my clothes and this is what I look like when I go out. So when you see me in public and you get to know me, it's exactly as you see it. And I highly recommend you stay authentic to who you are, because when people meet you, it is disappointing to meet someone that if you act like you're outgoing and you're not in person, it's a little disappointing, I think. So it's such an important thing, and also keeps you as a local SEO. So if you make it a hyper local YouTube channel, the people that are specifically looking in that little city, that's why it's really important that you title it and tag it really well. Basically, lead gen gets easier when you have that mentality of stopping chasing. There's a concept of whatever you are resisting, you become obsessive about. So if you're trying to not chase people and you don't want to be cringy, you tend to be more cringy. It's really weird. So just be yourself and show up in whatever avenue you want. I would, again, out of all those, just pick one maybe, or that you're not comfortable with. And I would say go deeper. It's always better to lean into where you're not comfortable than it is to go to where you're comfortable, because that's where the growth is. All about growing. It's about staying out of your comfort zone, because when it's too easy, sometimes there is a boredom that happens to agents, and it gets stale. And I think people can sense that. I think it's exciting exciting when you're fresh and you're curious and you're wanting to grow, and it's a little scary, right? So it's challenging you to be better and stronger, and that resistance is going to make you stronger in sales, stronger in business and life. I really believe that clients that are meant for you will follow you and be attracted to you like a magnet. You can't shake them off because they're meant to be with you. And I tell people this that are looking for houses too: who's supposed to buy the house is going to show up if you're a seller, and the house you're supposed to buy will show up. It's about the faith and knowing and having clarity about what you want. So if you're wishy-washy and you're going back and forth, that's never going to show up. And I think it is across the board that way in all of life: relationships, business, friendships, anything that you do, hobbies. If you're focused and you know what you want, you can label it, you can move towards it. The journey takes you where you want to end up. So that's kind of my take on that. But comment leads if you want my full list. I have a lot more. Or lead gen if you're curious about how to build more lead gen and how to follow up and structure it over time for the next year. I'm happy to connect with you. I'm a Tom Ferry coach right now, and you can book me through Tom Ferry. Or if you're curious about understanding more about Five Realty, I'm the broker of record. It's a revenue share company. I can have a conversation with you about that as well. And you don't need to cold call, guys. Just as like a phrase, you do need to engage, and that just doesn't necessarily mean cold calling. So you just need to know that you have to find what makes your heart sing and go and do that business, because then you'll be skipping down the street all happy and loving the business, and I'll love you back. Till next time, stay empowered, keep your business top of mind, and do your highest and best use of time. All right, bye-bye.